Hi students, so my name is Gopalakrishna Andi. I'm qualified CA, right. So I'm here to teach with you the MCQs in direct tax. MCQs in direct tax, the two amended MCQs as per Finance Act 2020. So these MCQs are relevant for the students who are going to appear in the examination of May 2021 and November 2021. So now I am going to discuss the direct tax MCQs which are amended as per the Finance Act 2020. Okay, these MCQs are relevant for the examination point of view of May 2021 and November 2021. Okay, right. So this is the MCQs material, students, which is released by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Okay, it consists of nearly 100 MCQs and 25 case studies. 100 MCQs and 25 case study based questions are there. Okay, so I am going to clearly explain those 100 MCQs as well as 25 case study based questions. Okay, so we'll look in detail each and every MCQs I will give with explanation. Okay, for each and every MCQ you will get an explanation as well as you will get even like notes also will get, students. Okay, so let's look into it. So now I am going to deal direct tax MCQs. Okay, direct tax MCQs, right, students. So okay, Finance Act 20. Right. Next, so let's look into the first MCQ, students. So let's start with first MCQ, students. So the first MCQ is the tax liability of Mr. Saral, who attained the age of 60 years on 1/4/2021 and does not opt for the provisions of section 115 BAC for the previous year 2021 on the total income of 5,60,000 comprising of the salary income and interest on fixed deposits would be, they are given the MCQ, students. Students, here what we need to discuss is in MCQ number 1. In MCQ number 1, so actually students, we are all the discussing these MCQs based on previous year. We will discuss all these MCQs for the previous year 2021, that is assessment year 21-22. Okay, fine. So here they are saying Mr. Saral, he attained the 60 years of age as on 1/4/2021, that is not within the previous year. He completed his 60 years not in the previous year 2021. He completed his 60 years on 1/4/2021. Okay, students, income tax department has given a notification in relation to this. Okay, generally a person who attained the age of 60 years within the previous year, he will get the higher exemption. You know the basic exemption limit, right? Generally basic exemption limit is 2,50,000 whose age is less than 60 years, but whose age is exactly 60 years or more, they will have the higher exemption, higher basic exemption limit. Okay, less than 60 years, for them the basic exemption limit is 2.5 lakhs. Okay, the persons whose age is greater than or equal to 60 years and less than 80 years, for them the basic exemption limit is equal to 3 lakhs. But students, department said that within the previous year 2021, if you have attained the age at any point of time within the previous year, if you are able to complete your 60 years, if you have attained the age of 60 years, then automatically you are liable, you are eligible for higher exemption. But in this case, Mr. Saral is getting the 60 years completion on 1/4/2021, which is not within the previous year, next day of the previous year. Students, department has given a benefit here. Even if the SSC has attained the age of 60 years immediately after the preceding year, that is next day after the previous year, then please give the benefit for that person. That is, even if the Mr. Saral has attained the age of 1/4/2021 after the previous year, immediate day after the previous year, so department said that for the previous year 2021 he will be treated as 60 years, and for him the higher exemption limit of 3 lakhs is eligible. Okay, so if we treat this one, if we consider this, he has a total income of 5,60,000 na? So 5,60,000 means whether he is eligible for rebate or not eligible for rebate. He is not eligible for rebate. So total income is equal to 5.6 lakhs. So up to 3 lakhs nil. Okay. So 5 lakhs minus 3 lakhs into 5%. It was 10,000. Okay. 5.6 lakhs minus 5 lakhs into 20%. That is 60,000 into 20%. 6 2 12. It was 12,000, 22,000. Okay. For this, add health and education cess at the rate 4%. Okay. So after adding this, you will get. So calculator is 1 second, students. So for 22,000, we need to add health and education cess 4%, and so into 4%, which is equal to 880, 22,880. Okay, this is the total tax. Students, here rebate is not eligible because his total income is greater than 5 lakhs. So he is not eligible for the rebate. Okay, so answer is 22,880, which is option B. Okay, option B. Next, let's come to question number 2. The tax liability of NIRLIP Cooperative Society does not opt to pay tax under 115 BAD. So they are not opting optional scheme. They are not opting for optional scheme. So on the total income of 90,000 for the previous year 2021. Students, NIRLIP Cooperative Society total income is 90,000 for the previous year 2021. They are not opting for the optional scheme. So generally, students, for the cooperative societies, is there any basic exemption limit? No, basic exemption limit is nil for the cooperative societies. Okay, so what is the slabs? What is the slab rates for the cooperative societies? What is the slab rates? Slab rates is like basic exemption limit is 0. So from 1 rupee onwards, they are liable for taxation, and 0 to 10,000 10%. 5% slab is also not there. Directly 0 to 10,000 10%, 10,000 to 20,000 20%, in excess of 20,000 is liable for 30,000, and health and education 4% is applicable. Okay, so here cooperative society na, so they have given as total income of 90,000. Okay, so now up to 10,000 nil. Sorry, up to 10,000 it was like up to 10,000. So we can also write like 0 to 10,000. Let's write as 0 to 10,000. 0 to 10,000, they are liable for 10% tax rate. Okay, so just mention like this: 10,000 minus 0 into 10%. 1,000. Okay, so 20,000 minus 10,000 into 20%, 2,000. In excess of 20,000 is liable for tax at the rate 30%. So 90,000. So 70,000. Balance income is 70,000 into 30%, 21,000. So 24 4,000, 24,000. Add health and education cess at the rate 4%. Okay, so 24,000 into 4%, 960, 24,960. Okay, this is the total tax liability in the hands of cooperative society. So let's look into this 24,960, which is option D. Okay, right. Next problem, MCQ number 3. What is the amount of marginal relief available to Sadvichar Limited, a domestic company, on the total income of 10 crore 3 lakhs 50,000 for the previous year 2021, comprises only business income whose turnover in the previous year 18-19 is 450 crores. Okay, so pays tax as per the regular provisions of Income Tax Act. So assume that the company does not exercise options under section 115 BAA. Students, here they are very clear, students, they are very clear. There is a domestic company is there. Okay, for the domestic company, in the previous year 2021, their total income other than special incomes, it is only PGBP income. It does not contain any special income like long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains 111A, and it does not contain any kind of winnings. Okay, nothing is there. Okay, it consists of only normal incomes. Okay, so 10 crore 3 lakh 50,000 is the total income, students. Is the total income. Domestic company total income 10 crore 3 lakh 50,000 previous year 2021. And students, in the previous year 18-19, their turnover is 450 crores. They said 450 crores. Okay, which is in excess of 400 crores. So presently they are liable for taxation at the rate 30%, but not 25%. Students, they are eligible for 25% also if the turnover is less than 400 crores in the previous year 18-19. But in the previous year 18-19, their turnover is greater than 400 crores. So in the current year, they are eligible for tax at the rate 30%. Okay. So now, and students, here they are asking like, what is the amount of marginal relief available to margin? They are asking marginal relief. They are not asking total tax liability. They are not asking total tax liability. Just they are asking only the marginal relief. Okay, right. So let's calculate, students. MCQ number 3. MCQ number 3. So now, what is the total income of the company? 10 crore 3 lakh 50,000. Am I correct? 10 crore 3 lakh 50,000. Yes, 10 crore 3 lakh 50,000. Now, we need to compute the tax, Andy. We need to compute the tax. We need to compute the tax on it. For computation of the tax, so generally they are liable for tax at the rate 30%. Andy. So 10 crore 3 lakh 50,000. They are liable for tax at the rate 30%, which is equal to 10 crore 3 lakh 50,000 into 30%. 3 crore 1 lakh 5,000. Okay, this is the normal. And students, whether they are liable for surcharge? Yes, sir, they are liable. Since their total income is in excess of 10 crores, they are liable for surcharge at the rate generally surcharge rates are how much? And surcharge 1 crore to 10 crores. If their income is 1 crore to 10 crore, 7%. In excess of 10 crore, then 12%. Here, since the income is in excess of 10 crores, surcharge is liable at the rate 12%, which is levied on tax. Okay, so into 12%, that is 3 crore 1 lakh 5,000 into 12%, 36 lakh 12,600. 3 crore 37 lakh 17,600. So generally, if they want to pay the tax, they have to pay like this. But what happened here? Due to income of 3,50,000. See, in excess of 10 crore, how much income we have? 3,50,000. In excess of 10 crore, how much income do we have? Only 3,50,000. So due to 3,50,000, they are shifting from surcharge of 7% to 12%. So which is unreasonable, students. Further, due to this reason, they will get the benefit called marginal relief. Let's check the marginal relief. So actually, students, this is step 1 answer. Let's calculate the step 2 answer. What is the step 2 only? So tax on 10 crores plus income in excess of 1 crore. Sorry, income in excess of 10 crores only, 10 crores. So which is like tax on 10 crores means 10 crores into 30%, which is equal to 3 crores. On 3 crores, what is the surcharge? Since their income is only 10 crores, surcharge is applicable at the rate 7%, which is 21 lakhs. Okay, add what we should add here? Add income. We need to surrender the excess income, right? Excess income over 10 crores is equal to how much, Andy? 3,50,000. So 3 crore 24 lakh 50,000. 3 crores 24 lakhs 50,000. Okay, this is step 2 answer, Andy. Now marginal relief is equal to step 1 minus step 2 only. Marginal relief, step 1 minus step 2. Step 1 is like, how much we got the step 1 only? 3 crores 37 lakhs. 3 crores 37 lakh 17,600. Minus 3 crores 24 lakhs. Okay, so like 337 17,600. 1 crore, sorry, it was like 12 lakhs. 12 lakh 67,600. This is the marginal relief. Okay, since the income is in excess of 3,50,000, they are liable for additional surcharge, which is unreasonable. For that purpose, department has given a benefit in the form of a marginal relief. That marginal relief is 12,67,600. They are asked only marginal relief, so marginal relief is equal to 12,67,600. Students, in the question, if they ask like what is the total tax that is to be payable by the company, total tax that is to be payable by the company, then in such a case what we should do? Okay, total tax liability, then what we have to do is, so step 1 minus step 3, 3 crores 37 lakh 17,600 minus 12 lakh 67,600. We need to reduce the, actually total tax that he has to pay in the step 1 is 3 crores 37 lakh 17,600. They are feeling the burden to the extent of 12 lakh 67,000. You reduce it. What is the balance? 3 crores 24 lakh 50,000. For this, we need to add 4% health and education cess. Okay, this is the one. 3 crores 24 lakh 50,000 plus 4%. If they ask in the examination what is the total tax that is to be payable by the SSC, then we need to mention as like this. Okay, right. This is option MCQ number 3 and D. Next, MCQ number 4. The tax payable by Dharma LLP on total income of 1 crore 1 lakh for previous year 2021 is tax payable by Dharma LLP and on total income of 1 crore 1 lakh for previous year 2021. Students, it is a case of partnership firm. Partnership firm LLPs are liable for flat 30%, no basic exemption limit. So for partnership firms LLPs, point number 1, no basic exemption limit. Point number 2, surcharge is applicable if their income is in excess of 1 crore. Surcharge is applicable if their income is excess of 1 crore. So 1 crore to whatever it may be, the surcharge rate is fixed as 12%. Sir, surcharge for them, for the LLP, surcharge would be like less than 1 crore, surcharge is nil. less than or equal to, and even if it is less than or equal to 1 crore, no surcharge. Greater than 1 crore, the total income is greater than 1 crore, then surcharge would be 12%. It is fixed, and so whether the surcharge is 10 crores, 20 crores, 30 crores, 40 crores, 100 crores, 150 crores, whatever it may be, the total income is 1 crore, total income is less than or equal to 1 crore, then surcharge is nil. Total income is greater than 1 crore, then surcharge is equal to 12%. Sir, total income is 100 crores, sir, even though surcharge is 12% only. Okay, in the form of like companies, and companies 1 crore to 10 crores, there is one surcharge rate. In excess of 10 crores, they are liable for additional surcharge. But in case of partnership firms, LLPs, cooperative societies, local authorities, there is no such change. So generally, these kind of rates are applicable for, this kind of surcharge rates are applicable for partnership firms, LLPs, cooperative societies, okay, and local authorities. Okay, for them the surcharge rates are applicable like this. Okay. Next, in this case 1 crore 1 lakh is the tax LLP's total income, and what they are asking, students, the tax payable by Dharma LLP. What is the tax payable they are asking? MCQ number 4, LLP total income 1 crore 1 lakh. Here also they are asking total tax payable, students, but not marginal relief. They are not asking marginal relief, they are asking total tax payable. Okay, so actually, students, here what they will do, you know, so first we have to calculate. There are 4 steps are involved for calculating the total tax liability. Since it is a case of marginal relief is available, students, because their income is just 1 lakh in excess of 1 crore only, they are eligible for marginal relief actually. So let's check whether they are eligible or ineligible. We'll come to know in the steps. Okay, step 1, tax on total income, that is on 1 crore 1 lakh. Okay, so tax is equal to 1.01 crore into, they are liable for flat 30%, no basic exemption limit. Okay, so 1 crore 1 lakh into 30%, 30 lakhs 30,000, and surcharge at the rate 12% is applicable, students, into 12%, 3,63,600. Students, don't add health and education cess here. Okay, we need to add the health and education cess in the step 4. In the last problem, in the last MCQ also I had showed you. Okay, in the step 4 we need to add the health and education cess. Okay, don't add here. 33,93,600. This is step 1 answer, and okay, and step 2, tax on 1 crore plus income in excess of 1 crore. We need to surrender that excess income in excess of 1 crore. Correct na? So tax on 1 crore means 1 CR into 30%, 30 lakhs, add surcharge at the rate 0%. On 1 crore, is there any surcharge? No. Correct? I showed in the previous year also. Less than or equal to 1 crore, then there is no surcharge. Okay. So 30 lakhs, add income in excess of 1 crore. $31 lakhs. Okay, so we got the step 2 answer also. Step 1, step 2. Step 3, marginal relief. Students, marginal relief is equal to generally step 1 minus step 2 only. Okay. So marginal relief will be is erased only when step 1 is greater than step 2. If step 2 is less than or equal to step 1 is less than or equal to step 2, marginal relief is equal to nil and. Okay, this is already you know everything. Okay, just I am saying you, if step 1 is less than or equal to step 2, then marginal relief is equal to nil and. If step 1 is greater than step 2, then marginal relief is equal to step 1 minus step 2. So in this case, Step 1 answer is 33 lakhs, whereas step 2 is 31 lakhs. So step 1 is greater than step 2. Step 1 is greater than step 2. Step 1 is greater than step 2. So marginal relief is equal to step 1 minus step 2. So 33 lakhs 93,600. 33 lakh 93,600 minus 31 lakhs 2 lakh 93,600. Okay. So next come to the step 4. We are computing the total tax liability here just. Okay. So total tax liability is equal to step 1 minus step 2, and if you step 1 minus step 3, and that is marginal relief. Okay. So we will get generally 31 lakh students. You do it, no issue, you will get the same answer. Step 1 minus step 3. So add health and education cess at the rate 4%. This is called as total tax liability. Payable by LLP. Okay. How much it comes to? 32 lakh 24,000. See here, 32 lakh 24,000. Option B. Okay. Right. Point number 5. Mr. Raman, sir, MCQ number 5, sorry. Mr. Raman, aged 64 years, was not able to provide the satisfactory explanation to the assessing officer for the investment of 7 lakhs not recorded in the books of accounts. What shall be the tax payable by him on the value of such investment considered to be the deemed income as per section 16? Students, assessing officer found certain investments of 7 lakhs in the not recorded in the books of accounts, which are not recorded. So assessing officer found certain investments of 7 lakhs rupees. They asked an explanation. Assessing officer asked like, so how you got this 7 lakhs? You have purchased the land worth 7 lakhs. You have purchased the shares worth 7 lakhs. You have purchased the building worth 7 lakhs. Okay, you have purchased certain assets worth 7 lakhs. So how you got this 7 lakhs? Show me the proof. How you got that 7 lakhs? Because it is not recorded in the books of accounts, and if I come to the verification of your house, or if I come to the verification of your office, there is a investments worth 7 lakhs. Separate papers are visible. It is in your name only. It is on your name. SSC. It is in your name. So, but these investments are not recorded in the books of accounts. Then how you got these investments? Okay, whether any person gifted to you. Okay, whether any person gifted to you, or how you have purchased this, na? Or have you purchased? If you have purchased, how you got that income? How you got that income? Show me the proper proof. SSC is not able to answer, students. Actually, Mr. Raman is not able to answer for the questions asked with the assessing officer, and whatever the answer given by the SSC is not satisfactory in nature. It's clearly visible as not able to provide satisfactory explanation. So since they are not providing the satisfactory explanation, the income is treated as a deemed income. In case of deemed incomes, the tax rate would be, you know that, right? In case of deemed incomes, what is the tax rate, students? What is the tax rate? MCQ number 5. Deemed incomes are liable for tax at the rate 78%, and deemed incomes are liable for tax. Liable for tax at the rate 78%. How the 78% is calculated? In the tax plus surcharge plus health and education cess, which is equal to 78%. Sir, how, sir? How? What is the tax rate? What is the surcharge rate? Tax rate is 60% only. Surcharge rate is 25%. Cess rate is 4%. Health and education cess totally 78%. Sir, 60 plus 25 plus 4 is equal to something like 89, na? How you got that 78, sir? 60 plus 25 is equal to 85, 85 plus 4, 89. But you are saying 78. Students, you should not calculate it manually. Students, tax on tax, you know surcharge, right? Surcharge is applied on the tax, whereas health and education cess is applied on the tax plus surcharge components. So what you have to do, you take the calculators, 60, you enter the 60, enter the plus symbol plus symbol. After that press 25, and later you press the percentage symbol, then you will get 75. 60 plus 25%, then you will get 75. On this you apply 4%. On 75 is there now. On that enter the plus symbol, 4 percentage symbol, then you will get 78%. It's a tax on tax. Okay, don't calculate it manually. Okay, so right now what is the investments that are unexplained? Deemed, how much is the deemed income? Deemed income is 7 lakhs into 78%. 7 lakhs, check it. Is it 7 lakhs? Yes, it is 7 lakhs. $5,46,000. Okay, which is option C. Right, next. If Anirudh, a citizen of India, has stayed in India in previous year 2021 for 181 days, students, if you want to understand this example, so we need to look into the amendments actually. We need to look into the amendments. Okay, so let's look into the amendments. So let's look one of the amendment which is we got in the Finance Act 2020, and so let's look into that amendment. Read here. This person is treated as resident but not ordinary resident. Resident but not ordinary resident. Okay, see here. They have given a if you have read the amendments, definitely you would come to know about this point. Okay, so here what they have mentioned is, generally students, if a person who is visiting, a person of Indian origin, a person is a individual who is being a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin visits India during the previous year, for that person only B1 is applicable. And you know that, right? Okay, a person is, if an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin visits India during the previous year, in such a case only basic condition number 1 is applicable. Okay, that is, what is the basic condition 1, student? What is the basic condition 1? That is he has to stay in India for 182 days or more during the relevant previous year. Okay, but students, they have recently we have got an amendment here. So what the amendment speaks is, an individual who is being a citizen of India, or a person a person of Indian origin visits India during the previous year, and during the previous year he stayed in India for greater than 120 days, and last 4 years he was in India more than 365 days, then he is treated as a resident. And students, whether A1, A2, whether applicable or not applicable, irrespectively, he is treated as a resident but not ordinary resident. Students, I will tell you a simple, and in simple language I will tell you what's the amendment is here. We are discussing about which MCQ, and 6th MCQ, right? 5th completed, so 6th MCQ. So this is amendment related, students. Actually students, Indian citizen or person of Indian origin, if they visits India during the previous year, then only B1 is applicable, and only B1 is applicable. What B1 says? He has to stay in India for greater than 182 days. 182 days or more, greater than or equal to 182 days. If he stays in India, then B1 is applicable. Whenever B1 is applicable, he is treated as a resident. And for ordinary but not ordinary, we need to check the A1, A2. Correct na? For ordinary and but not ordinary, we need to check A1, A2. See, an Indian citizen is there. Okay, he is an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. He visits India during the previous year, and he was in India for 185 days. And let's say an example, he was in India for 185 days. Okay, then what happened? B1 applicable, sir. B1 applicable. Okay, and B1 is satisfied. Sorry, B1 is satisfied. So he is treated as what? resident. So we need to check ordinary but not ordinary. For that we will check A1, A2. A1 and A2 we will check, correct na? If A1 and A2 both satisfied, then ordinary resident. Both not satisfied, that means only one satisfied, one or none satisfied, then not ordinary resident, correct na? But students, and for these persons, B2 is not applicable, and you know that, right? B2 is, we need to check only B1. B2 is not applicable, right? I think students, here department has given a small change, and okay, small amendment they have given. So what's the amendment is, Indian citizen or person of Indian origin visits India during the previous year, and he stayed in India greater than 120 days but less than 182 days, greater than 120 days but less than or equal but less than 182 days, greater than or equal to only, greater than or equal to 120 days but less than 182 days. So that means actually for these persons B1 is not applicable now. So actually he was stayed in India for 150 days, so which is greater than 120 days na. Actually for these persons B1 is applicable. B1 is not satisfied actually here. So Indian citizen and previous year 2021 he was stayed 150 days, and for this person whether B1 satisfied, B1 is not satisfied here. Directly whenever B1 is not satisfied, earlier we are saying as he is non-resident we are saying, but students department has given an amendment here. What department is saying is, so during the previous year if they stayed for greater than or equal to 120 days but less than 182 days, okay, and their income is greater than or equal to 15 lakhs, that should be other than foreign income, and other than for, that is, this is earned in India. If he earns the income in India in excess of greater than or equal to 15 lakhs, and he should stay in India greater than or equal to 120 days but less than 182 days, this kind of persons are treated as resident but not ordinary residents directly. You understood na? So simple, and earlier Indian citizens or person of Indian origins, they have to stay minimum 182 days in India for becoming the residents, okay, because only B1 is applicable. Now department has given amended the provision that even if they didn't stay about 182 days, if they stay more than 120 days and less than 182 days and their income in India is greater than 15 lakhs, greater than or equal to 15 lakhs, they are treated as a resident but not ordinary residents. They are treated as resident but not ordinary residents. Okay na? Right. This is the amendment, and so you can check here. Students, actually it is greater than or equal to not, and just greater than 15 lakhs. Income is greater than 15 lakhs. Income exceeds 15 lakhs. Income exceeds, na? One second, I'll check it. One second. Which does not here. Other than income from foreign sources, and which is not deemed to accrue or arise in India. Yes, exceeding 15 lakhs. Okay. So you can read here. If such individual is an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin who is being outside India comes on a visit to India in any previous year, having total income other than income from foreign sources, having total income from foreign sources, that is income which accrues or arises outside India other than income derived from a business or controlled from profession set up in India, and which is not deemed to accrue or arise in India, exceeding 15 lakhs during the previous year. So simply look here, other than income from foreign sources exceeding 15 lakhs, basically Indian income. Indian income is in excess of 15 lakhs during the previous year. during the previous year who has been in India for 120 days or more but less than 182 days during the previous year. Students, if he stayed for 182 days or more but less than 182 days, greater than 120 days, greater than or equal to 120 days but less than 182 days, then he is treated as a resident but not ordinary resident only. Okay na? So now look into the MCQ. Anirudh, citizen of India, stayed in India during the previous year 2021 for 181 days. For how many days? 181 days, which is greater than 120, less than 182. Okay. So he is a citizen of India, stayed in India in the previous year 2021 for 181 days, and he is non-resident in 9 out of 10 years immediately preceding the current previous year. So actually students, A1 is not satisfied, additional condition number 1 is not satisfied, and he stayed in India for 365 days in the 4 years immediately preceding the current previous year. So actually last 4 years he stayed about 365 days. Last 4 years immediately preceding the previous year he stayed about 365 days, and 420 days in all the 7 years immediately preceding the current previous year. That is, A2 condition is not satisfied. As per A2, in the last 7 years he has to stay about 730 days, but he stood only 420 days. So A2 is also not satisfied. His residential status for the assessment year 2021 would be, what is his residential status? Resident but not ordinary resident only. Resident but not ordinary resident. Okay na? So depends upon this actually. By observing this I am saying. Okay. He was a Indian citizen. He was an Indian citizen, and last 9 years he was a non-resident, they are saying. Okay, was not resident in India, they are saying. So A1 is not satisfied, A2 is also not satisfied. So B1 is also not satisfied. Actually, he is an Indian citizen. He comes to a visit in India. Whenever they are saying Indian citizen comes to a visit in India, generally we need to check only B1. Okay, but here B1 is not satisfied. So we need to check one of the amendment, that is whether he stood about greater than 120 days or not. Yes, he stood about greater than 120 days only. So since he stood greater than 120 days, which is 181 days, he is a resident but not ordinary resident. Okay na? Right. Students, if you observe for better understanding of this point, you have to clearly know about the amendments only. Then only you will come to know about this answer. Okay, right. Next, point number 7. MCQ number 7. Mr. Ajay is found to be the owner of 2 gold chains of 50 grams each. Market value of the one of each gold chain is 1,45,000 each, and here underline the word each. 1,45,000 each. So here 2 gold chains they are saying, 1,45,000 into 2 gold chains, which is equal to 2 gold chains market value is equal to 2,90,000. Ajay found to be the owner of the 2 gold chains worth market value 2,90,000 during the financial year 31st March 2021. But he could not offer satisfactory explanation to the assessing officer for rupees. He could offer satisfactory explanation to the assessing officer for 50,000 spent on acquiring the gold chains. Actually students, 2,90,000 worth of gold chains found in the hands of Mr. Ajay, and he is able to offer only 50,000. He is able to give the answer only for 50,000. Explanation, satisfactory explanation is giving only for 50,000. So unexplained income is about 2,40,000. Correct na? Unexplained income is about 2,40,000. As per section 115 BBE, Mr. Ajay would be liable to pay tax of how much? So students, as per section 115 BBE is nothing but a deemed income. That 2,40,000 is treated as a deemed income. On deemed income, how much tax rate is applicable, students? How much tax rate? It is about 78%. Okay. 7. Okay. So 2 gold chains, 2,90,000. Okay. Less explanation given, satisfactory explanation given, worth 50,000. deemed income, which is 2,40,000 on this tax on deemed income under section 115 BBE is equal to 78%, which I already told you. One lakh 87,200. Option A. Okay. Right. Next. Mr. Ajay is a MCQ number 8 and right. Mr. Ajay is a recently qualified doctor. He joined a reputed hospital in Delhi on 1/1/2021. He earned a total income of 3,40,000 till 31/3/2021. His employer advised him to claim the rebate under section 87A while filing the income tax return for the assessment year 21-22. He approached his father, a tax professional, to inquire regarding whether rebate under section 87A of the Income Tax Act. What would his father told him? Okay, students, basically they are asking rebate provision is there, na? Rebate provision. So what is the provision of rebate? That's all. Okay, so let's look into that provisions. Generally, what is the provision of rebate? And rebate under section 87A is available to individuals. Point number 1. Okay, and rebate under section 87 is available only to resident, ordinary resident but not ordinary resident. Point number 3, rebate is available only if your net total income is less than or equal to 5 lakhs. Okay, right, here's a check into here. A individual who is resident in India and whose total income does not exceed 5 lakhs is entitled to claim the rebate under section 87A. Individual who is a resident in India whose total income does not exceed 5 lakhs is entitled to claim the rebate under section 87A. Correct na? Yes. A individual who is a resident in India whose total income does not exceed 3,50,000. No, this is wrong. Andy. Maximum rebate allowable to under section 87A is 5,000. It is not 5,000. It's about 12,500. 12,500 or taxable amount, whichever is lower is the rebate. Okay. Rebate under section 87A is available in the form of the exemption from total income. No, it is not exemption. It is eligible as a discount from the tax. It is eligible as a discount from the tax. First, we need to calculate the tax. From the tax, we need to reduce this rebate. After, if there is any balance tax, on that balance tax, health and education cess is applicable. Okay, right. Next, maximum rebate allowable under section 87A is 12,500. They are saying maximum rebate allowable under section 87A is 12,000, which is correct. And rebate under section 87A is available in the form of deduction from base tax liability. Yes, base tax liability, correct. So answer is 156. 156, option B. Okay. MCQ number 9. Raman, a citizen of India, was employed in Hindustan Lever Limited. He resignated on 27/9/2020. Raman, a citizen of India, was employed in Hindustan Lever Limited, a company, and he resignated on 27/9/2020. He received a salary of 40,000 per month from 1/4/2020 to 27/9/2020 from Hindustan Lever Limited. Thereafter, he left for Dubai for the first time on 1/10/2020 and got a salary of rupees equivalent to 80,000 per month from 1/10/2020 to 31/3/2021 in Dubai. His salary for October to December was credited in Dubai bank account, and the salary for January to March was credited in Mumbai account directly. He is liable for tax in respect of. Students, here they are saying option MCQ number 9 and what is the SSC name? Ajay, right? Raman. What is the name of the person? Raman. So 1/4/2022, 30th September 2020, he was in India actually. Okay, he flied on when he flight actually? When he flight to Dubai? Just check, students, when he flight to Dubai. Thereafter, he left to Dubai for the first time on 1/10/2020. He left Dubai the first time on 1/10/2020. On 1/10/2020, he left to Dubai. And okay, actually, students, since He left Dubai on 1/10/2020. On 1/10/2020, he is also stayed in India. Since hours information is not given, date of arrival, date of departure are considered as in India. Okay, so he received salary 40,000, and in this thereafter he left Dubai for the first time on 1/10, and he got salary equivalent to 80,000. From 1/10 to 31/10 he was in Dubai. Okay, fine, there is a small clash is there. From 1/10 to 31/10 he was in Dubai, they are saying. He was in Dubai. First time on, thereafter he left for the Dubai. Salary. Okay students, flying information is not given actually. So since hour information, actually students, what is the provision? Whenever there is a information of the hours is absent, okay, date of arrival, date of departure is considered as in India. I am assuming here he is flied to Dubai on 1/10. Okay, I am assuming like that. Next students, so October onwards he is working there. From October to March he is working there, na? October 20 to March 20 he is working in Dubai. But October to December and Jan to March, October to December he received salary in which account? October to December was credited in Dubai bank account. Jan to March Dubai credited in Mumbai account. Okay, Dubai, Mumbai. Okay, and he is in India from 1/4/2022 1/10 he was in India. And so this is India, na? It's an Indian income actually. This is also Indian income, and this is treated as a foreign income. Okay, because it is earned outside India and received outside India. Students, this is earned in India and received in India. It is an Indian income. Okay, this is foreign income because it is earned outside India, received outside India. Whereas Jan to March case, earned in Dubai, received in India. Since receipt is in India, it is treated as an Indian income. Okay, right. Next, what is the status of Raman, students? What is the status of the Raman? What is the status? Whether he is actually he was an Indian citizen and he left to Dubai for the first time. So in such a case we need to check only B1 for these persons also. For these kind of persons also we need to check only B1. Okay, so April 30 days, April, May, June, July, August, September, till here let's calculate students. 30 plus 31 plus 30 plus 31 plus 31 plus 30, which comes to up to here only 183 days he stood, greater than 182. So he is treated as a resident. He is treated as a resident. And anyway, last all years he was in India only. So automatically he is a resident and ordinary resident. He will become resident and ordinary resident. So for the resident and ordinary resident, he resignated on, he received salary of 40,000. So since he is a resident and ordinary resident, global income is taxable, correct? So income received in India and income received in Dubai, both becomes taxable. And he is a resident and ordinary resident, so global income is taxable. Okay, so since he is a resident and ordinary resident, global income is taxable. Okay, global income is taxable. Automatically Indian income, Dubai income totally taxable. And okay, right students, with this we'll close the class now. We'll continue the balance MCQs in the next class.
Hi students, I'm Prakash, Academic Advisor, Masterminds. Just now you have watched a sample video of detailed explanation to MCQs released by ICAI at CA Inter and IPCC level. So as you already know that at CA Inter and IPCC level, in all the theory subjects, 30% of the question paper will consist of MCQs. That is, in each paper 30 marks are being dedicated to MCQs. So, and majority of them will be case based, scenario based MCQs. And CA Institute has officially released such kind of case based, scenario based MCQs, and they have even released some normal style of MCQs also. Our faculty team have made detailed videos on all such MCQs, in which our faculty have given a detailed explanation to each and every MCQ. Just now you have watched a sample video of the same. If you really like that video, then you can purchase these MCQs explanation videos of your choice which are available in our app. For that purpose, you need to first install our Android app which is available in Google Play Store, and our app name is Masterminds Online Classes. If you belong to iOS platform, then please do install an app called Class Plus and enter the organization code as MZGun. Now, so after installing the app, click the button Store. So here you can find options like CA Inter MCQs. Click that. So here are the courses available in which our faculty have given detailed explanation to each and every MCQ. For example, look at the auditing subject. Let's see. So here is the content. Here are the videos of MCQs explaining in the subject of auditing, and whatever the subject you want, you can purchase. It's not compulsory to purchase the MCQs of all the subjects. You can purchase each individual subject of your choice also, and based on the number of hours of content, we have even fixed the fee. So you can purchase these videos at your own convenience and you can start watching the same. And for all these videos, we will be given 1.5 views. That means a 1 hour video can be watched for 1.5 hours. And similar videos are even available for CA IPCC students also. Hope that you will enjoy this service. My dear students, if you have any academic issues and would like to contact me, then please send a mail to my mail ID with all your details, and my mail ID is mssprakash2012@gmail.com. All the best. Let's have a glimpse into the roots of the Masterminds. So Masterminds were established in 2002 and is undeniably the pioneer and the leader in MEC, CA and CMA coaching in India, with a lion's share of nearly 20,000 admissions per annum. It is an incredible initiative by 3 visionary edupreneurs. That is me, MSS Prakash, Chartered Accountant, my brother Mohan, my sister-in-law Radha, from the same family at a very young age under the successful mentorship of our father, Mr. M. Sivaprasad. Within the shortest span, our presence have expanded to almost all major cities of AP and Telangana. We are humbled to say that very soon we want to expand to the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu also, so especially with the wishes and support of all our old students. We offer best quality services for MEC with integrated coaching for CRCMA Foundation. Exclusive MEC CEC coaching is also available. Regular class, study hours and revision exams, MMTS services for all the levels of CSCMA courses. And recently we launched a unique academic program called MEC Pro, aiming the students who aspire to pursue BBA, CLAT or MDA in future rather than CSCMA courses, and we have received excellent response. So our students have achieved first rank for 47 times in various courses that we offer coaching. Till now, our students have bagged 977 All India ranks in all the stages of CSCMA courses. So 98 All India ranks in a single attempt of CMA inter and final exams, and 180 All India ranks in CSCMA courses in 2019 and 20 alone. So 3 All India first ranks in the year 2020 alone. So right now we have around 150 batches of various courses in Guntur and all our branches together.